Hey, what's going on YouTube? Chris back with another video. Today I'm going to be checking out the all-new smartwatch by Mobvoi, the TicWatch Pro 5. This was provided to me by them for review to check out on the channel, and they did not pay me to provide this review or feedback. So this is impartial, full, honest experience. Go through the unboxing, go through some of the features, and then towards the end of this video I'll cut to real world experience and giving my feedback and kind of doing a little review here. So what's special about this is their brand new sandstone color, kind of like a grayish beige kind of color tone. I can't quite put my finger on it. They also do have black, which is called Obsidian. This is running Android Wear or Wear OS 3, so this is pretty much the same OS that the Pixel Watch is running. This runs the Snapdragon W5 Plus Gen 1 chip, so that's awesome. There's also some really great technology in here. There's like a dual display mode, which we'll get into a little bit later. But let's go ahead and get this unboxed and opened, go through the setup, and go through some of the features like I said. So this runs, MSRP price is $350. Currently you might be able to get it on sale depending on when you watch this video. Right now it is on sale for just under $300. But let's go ahead and get this opened. And this slides out just like that. And if you do want to pick this up, I'll leave the link down in the description. TicWatch, the TicWatch Pro 5. We'll go ahead and set that aside. Now there is some fast charging features built into this. So you'll be able to get this powered on or recharged if you needed. Inside this box is just some paperwork, warranty information, little card for their social channels. You can pick this up on Amazon, and like I said, link will be in the description. You have your charging cable inside here, a black cable, USB-A, and then a little two-prong magnetic adapter that it just kind of connects to. So we'll kind of see how easy the charging will actually be. So the charging, you're gonna get about 65% battery in about 30 minutes. So from 0 to 65 in half an hour. So that's pretty quick, or even just be able to get a 15-minute charge and you'll be able to pretty much get through most of the day. This is definitely an outdoor type of rugged watch because all they market is a lot of the location tracking, the fitness aspect to it, and this is a nicely well crafted manufactured watch. With this being sandstone, I'm actually more curious what the black would even look like. So let's go ahead and kind of get through the exterior of the watch here. So up top, or up front I should say, we have this kind of gnarled ring, as you can see kind of the texture that it is. You have this rotating crown on the right hand side. We have a button which has those lines and textures, so it's very easy to feel and grip. And this nice, really nice solid body construction on the outside. And then we have just kind of this composite plastic material underneath. There's the charging prongs, and we have your heart rate sensor and other sensors in there, and then just your standard silicone strap as well. And so in terms of the silicone strap, you have these lugs underneath that you'll be able to exchange out to a different watch band if you so choose. But the one thing is, because this color scheme is so kind of unique, finding a watch band that is going to actually match the overall scheme of the watch might find difficult. So here it is on my wrist, and that's kind of the thickness. This is kind of a chunky boy for my small wrist, if I can say that. But overall, it's your typical silicone watch band. But what we're wanting to look at is actually powering it up. Press and hold that power button. TicWatch This crown is actually really nice and smooth, easy to rotate. There's no little notches or anything like that. All right, so here it is booting up for the first time. So this display up front is pretty special. This is running a full AMOLED display right here, 1.43 inches. So the ratio is 466 by 466, so perfect square, obviously. But like I mentioned and kind of alluded to, there's two displays built in this. You have your standard AMOLED display, but then there's also a ultra low power display that runs on top of it, or below it, I should say. This is covered by Gorilla Glass as well up top on the front after we pull this piece off. So Wear OS 3, this, like I said, will be able to get really nice and pretty frequent updates as a result. So overall, the outside, a 7000 series aluminum, and it feels really good. This definitely is not a cheap feeling watch. There's kind of the side profile. So we have like kind of like this sandblasted type finish, matte. We have a slight chrome ring around the thick edges, back to a matte sandblasted, and then that gnarled ring up on the front. So let's go ahead and get this set up. And so what we're going to need to do, oh, that was not, all right, English, US. We need to go and download the Mobvoi Health app. Right there. All right, perfect. We're going to go ahead and get this started. It says you're going to need to create an account, so depending on how you feel about that, that's up to you. Of course, if you're dealing with a smartwatch, more than likely that's to be expected. You can log in through a third party such as Google, so your Google account will work just fine. Login successful. Okay. Device. We're going to go ahead and add a new device. Allow location access. There we go. Perfect. Found it really quick. So built inside, this uses 2 gigs of RAM and 32 gigs of onboard storage. So you are going to be able to store music on this and stream it directly to your Bluetooth earbuds perfectly fine, and listen to your music while you're on the run, biking, or what have you. And this has built-in GPS, multiple kind of GPS accessibility, radios and antennas inside this. So you're going to be able to use this completely separate from your phone to track all of your activities outdoors. So of course, with it being a smartwatch, it has all of your standard kind of features and metric tracking, such as sleep tracking, your steps, a lot of the various health aspects, blood oxygen level, kind of your breathing and stress levels and things like that. And you'll be able to use the app to kind of check all of that information. Built-in compass in this as well. So like I said, with the GPS, you're going to be able to track all of your outdoor activities without the need of your phone. This, of course, does have all of your kind of rugged kind of capabilities, such as water resistance. There's also a military grade US Mil Standard 810H certified, up to a 5 ATM water resistance. So we're going to go ahead and go through the setup, getting logged into my accounts real quick. So also inside, another spec, in addition to the Snapdragon chip, this uses a 628 milliamp hour battery inside this form factor. So with a combination of the ultra low powered display, the AMOLED display, and this large battery, you're going to get at most about 80 hours of use. So that's going to be pretty impressive. Going through the setup, it picks apps already from your phone and recommends to install them onto the watch. So I don't need any of these other things. We're just going to continue then as a result. And let's go ahead and get this on my wrist once again. The setup was actually very quick. And everything reacted very, very smoothly and immediate. When I use a pattern for the lock screen, and swiping through the pattern to unlock the watch was very, very quick, and the vibration haptic feedback as a result was really impressive. So right away we see that ultra power, low power display right here, and you can see just by tapping on it, wakes it up. We can go through the tutorial. We know how to use your standard swipe up for notifications. Swiping down gives you some quick toggles. And then from the left side to kind of swipe away apps, to go back to your home screen. Tiles, so basically different tiles, we can go through different things that you want to have set up for quick access to different information. So we have the crown here, and it's also as a button to go back home. And we can press it again to go to our app list. And this button off to the side is our recents button there as well. So double pressing the crown will bring you back to recent app just previously, similar to back in the day of your 3-button Android use. Press and hold gives you the power menu just like as you'd expect. So consent to what have you, access to all of this information that it's going to collect. So it says if you choose not to provide such information, functions of this product will still be available to you. So you can always change your mind later on. So I'm going to just deny access to that. So here we go. So here is the watch itself. Here's the UI. Swiping down, this is actually very, very smooth. Scrolling through all of our apps list, and this is again still somewhat settling in the background. Our recent apps goes to the app list, app drawer. So if you just put your hand over the watch, that turns off the display, and there's that ultra low power. And here's the color aspect, so you can easily read this in daylight as a result without having to use the AMOLED display. So if we come into the app itself, here is where you can easily customize the app a bit more. Of course, they're already hitting you up to purchase watch faces. Let's go into the settings and display your timeout, 10 seconds, vibration. We're going to always sync do not disturb settings, but just because if like I'm in the middle of something, my phone's on do not disturb, like in a meeting, I don't want my watch to be going off and ringing as well. So I like to keep that consistent. Apps notifications. General, that's fine. System, really not as many settings as I expected there. Our tiles, here we can rearrange and disable certain tiles here. So I'm just going to set this down real quick. And basically we have the forecast already up, UV index, and then maybe let's add our sleep into that. So basically when you are on the home screen, you can swipe and then rearrange potentially if you wanted to. So now there is our health, then the weather, heart rate, and all of that, our agenda. Those are our tiles. sync watch screenshot. So basically, if you take a screenshot on the watch, you can pull that up. Heart health. Okay, so heart health is not available in the US, so do keep that in mind. Tick care essentially lets your family and friends keep track of your exercise and health information. No, I'm all right. I'm good there. If we come here to edit, we have color run. So if we come long press, here are some different watch faces that come pre-installed. Time show. So yeah, a lot of these are going to be very health fitness focused, kind of like your standard digital watches that you would wear when you're out. Something that's more rugged, but those are the watch faces that are available right off the bat. But I'm going to go ahead and just pick none of these are really that appealing to me, to be honest. Let's do this. We should be able to customize some things here. Yeah, so here we go. So you can long press and then go to edit. This is standard Wear OS 3 stuff, and you can scroll through what colors that you might want for accents and things like that. And you swipe, you can then change what each of these complications do. So here's the compass down here, your heart rate up there. And you can kind of customize those as a result. You have this button on this crown, feels really nice and solid when you press it as well. So yeah, so here's additional complications and everything else as a result there. But let's go ahead and dig into some of these settings on the actual watch itself. So this weighs 44.3 grams. I've been using actually a Fossil Gen 6 smartwatch myself. So if we come to display, always on screen, you can choose to use the AMOLED display or the ultra low power display, and you can change the backlight color of the ultra low power display. So that's actually pretty neat. So now when we do that, there is that ultra low power mode and the color that we just chose. So you can come back to the recents menu, settings, date format, month and day. Tilt awake, basically when you turn your wrist to you, what you want the display to react as. So if you want to turn on the backlight or turn on the AMOLED display, you can choose between those options. Brightness, adaptive brightness, it's always worked really well for me. And this right now indoors, this looks really crisp and clean. Font size, change watch face, which we covered already. Like I said, connectivity, you have your Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, NFC, so you can do tapped payments on here perfectly fine. Gestures, touch to wake, touch to lock. No, we don't want that. Go back to recents. With this also having a built-in speaker, you're going to be able to answer your phone calls from your phone. But of course, do note that there's no built-in SIM card or eSIM on this. So you still will need to have your phone with you if you want to receive your calls or notifications from your phone. Vibration here. So basically when you have the crown, you can disable the vibration feedback when rotating the crown. So that's a nice little additional attention to detail. If you don't want those things, that can also save some battery for you too. Unread dots, set up a health profile, system updates. Let's see if there's any updates right out of the box here. So we are running July security patch, and no, no updates. There is an essential mode, so basically this will put it into super low power mode and pretty much only show you like the time and things like that. So you can have that automatically switch on when you're low power, have it on a schedule on a specific time. And yeah, so that's going to allow you just to be able to get the most out of your battery, or out of your watch, I should say, as a result. Yeah, this, not the biggest fan of the color. Again, that's personal opinion. It's a little bit more difficult to match this to outfits versus black. You're able to pair it with a lot more color outfits, attire, and different settings. This, to me, looks more feminine, if I can say that. I don't like it with like my skin tone, but it's going to really stand out if you're wearing darker attire as well. So if we twist our wrist there, we can see the time, military time, and the date also. Yeah, the heart rate sensor, we can go ahead and test that out right here. Data collection has been disabled. So you have to agree for them to collect this data if you want heart rate sensor and for it to track all of that, unfortunately. So there right now we can see that it is measuring. So you can have this track at different intervals if you'd like as well. And that we can get into our settings here, 24-hour monitoring that you can see, and all your exercise. So right now we're at 88. So this is the consistent 24-hour resting heart rate. We can come over to our apps list. Here are some of the apps: flashlight, hand wash timer, why you would need that, treadmill, one tap measurement. So this will test the heart rate, blood oxygen, breathing rate, and basically an all-in-one kind of monitoring essentially. And we'll be able to just wait 90 seconds, and I'll fast forward this video here. Got 41 stress level, low stress. I'm glad to hear, because I'm home. I'm not stressed making this video for you all. Something else I've noticed too, that this gnarled ring around it, this frame, timed out. No, we don't want to try again. Something I noticed is that this frame is slightly raised over this glass, the Gorilla Glass on the front. So it actually adds a little bit additional protection versus just leaving the glass right up top. You're going to be able to kind of see that hopefully right here. You can see there's just a 0.5 millimeter, or not sure what type of distance that is, but this is really nice attention to detail right here. So yes, I'm going to go ahead and put a pause to this and use this for a couple days, and I will be able to come back to you and share my thoughts and experiences of real world use case. Maybe I might go for a hike or walk, bike ride or something this weekend, and be able to kind of share the results from that. Right now I can tell my skin underneath this silicone band is sweating. Yeah, it's right there already. Granted, I need to actually take this. That's why it probably failed. This little sticker was still on it and covering our reading. And then basically for charging, this will just essentially just attach like that. I wish this was something that more covered, or a dock that was more substantial versus something that just rested on the side. It does magnetize really easily, just like that. But with it like this, it's going to rest on level to whatever surface it's sitting on. It might depending on how you have it set up. It might just kind of, it might just come undue just from physics and having the leverage of this entire cable. So just something to keep in mind of where you have this charge. But this is a really nice, beautiful looking watch. Nice aluminum, 7000 series grade aluminum. Nice big battery, big AMOLED display. I'm going to rock this for sure. So I'm going to put a pause in this video and come back in a couple days, like I said, and share some final thoughts and experiences of using this as a daily smartwatch and see how the battery actually comes out as a result.
3 days later.
All right, everyone. So we are back. And now that I've spent a little over 3 days now with the TicWatch Pro 5, I do have some thoughts on kind of just overall use case, daily driving this watch. I will say it is a fantastic watch, both in smoothness, operation, just overall, it's performed extremely well. It's also lasted 3 days. So when I showed that little video clip just now, the battery got down to about 10% or so ever since I charged it the night after I made this initial unboxing. Charged it up and it lasted all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then had to charge it Sunday night. So charging on this was actually pretty neat. As you can see, when you attach it to the dongle, it immediately starts charging and it'll show you the 10th and 100th place of percentage, and you can really see just how quickly it's charging. And unfortunately, the charging only attaches one way to the actual TicWatch Pro 5. It charges really quick. I think definitely the 30-minute claim is accurate in terms of getting pretty much full charge or 65% charge. I put it on the charger, showered, kind of got ready for winding down in the evening, and maybe like an hour later, I forgot that it was on the charger, took it off, it was 100%, and really had no issues whatsoever charging it. And we're back to literally almost 24 hours from now, back at around 75-80% or so. So you lose about 25% a day, depending on your settings. Of course, you might be able to get this to last longer, especially if you don't have 24-hour heart monitoring, sleep tracking. You'll be able to, I would say, probably easily get through 4 days of battery life on this. I had it monitoring my heart rate 24/7, sleep tracking as well. I basically just only took it off to shower, and basically worn it that entire period of time. And so that was actually a really great experience. There were a couple things that I wish could be better, and we'll go over that here right now. So first is the actual sleep tracking. The sleep tracking, I think, it does a really good job. It shows some really good information, more than what my actual Withings sleep tracker mat does. Now there's some discrepancies between the two, but I think possibly the watch might be a little bit more accurate just because it is on person versus sitting underneath the mattress. But I do see here you get your heart rate during your sleep, an average, also your blood oxygen level, your breaths per minute, and then also some other information as well. There is an option where you can have it track your temperature during sleep, so that's actually something that's nice. I didn't have that enabled, but throughout the 4 nights that I slept with this on, the measurements between that and the Withings tracking mat were pretty comparable, if I could say. So let's go into Saturday, from Friday night into Saturday morning. Here we got just under 9 hours of sleep, and yeah, 8 hours 57 minutes, 8 hours 53 minutes. Depth here we can see with the tracker mat, we got REM sleep for 2 hours 41 minutes, REM sleep, we got 3 hours 19 minutes. So again, some discrepancies, and that's within margin, I would say. I would probably trust this a little bit more, just because, again, like I said, this will be able to sense more movement and things like that, because it's actually on my person. So sleep tracking is really great. And next is the exercise aspect. Now, I took just a brief little walk the other day, because I really wanted to make sure see how this worked. And this is one of the areas which I think Mobvoi could do a better job at, is actual kind of onboarding with the actual kind of like fitness modes and things like that. So when we go into the actual, let's see here, the Tic exercise, there is an option for high performance mode, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But when we go I went for an outdoor walk. You want to make sure, of course, the watch is snugly secured to your wrist. It takes just a second, depending on where you are, to find a GPS signal. That's fine. I wish it was maybe a little bit faster, or maybe grab the location from the phone to kind of help its location. So if we hit go, it says, hey, GPS positioning is currently detecting. So you do have to wait. Otherwise, there's going to be some discrepancies on that. So you can ignore. And this is kind of where I wish TicWatch did a little bit better on actual onboarding during these exercises, kind of showing what all you can do to kind of find information. So it didn't give any sort of instructions, but you can actually swipe up, swipe down between different areas, of course, using the crown as well. But I learned that you could actually swipe left and right to handle your media that might be playing, or swipe to the other side to pause and stop. And I was, for the longest time, trying to figure out, how do I stop this activity? I thought maybe I hold down this button, that didn't do anything. Maybe I hold down that other button, doesn't do anything. I tried long pressing, again, didn't do anything. So I finally figured out from swiping that that's how you stop it. So a little bit of information there for you all. But the actual tracking of heart rate, of kind of overall from using the watch during the walk was great. Tracked the speed, the actual distance, my cadence for step frequency, my stride as well, and then the GPS of kind of where I walked. Now we can see the discrepancies here, and this is where the high performance mode would help improve this. You can see the little walking path on the right of where the path is, but this kind of squiggly line that you're seeing cross over, that is quote unquote my walking path. I was walking on this path. The high performance mode would help improve this, just because it takes your location constantly versus every maybe 10 seconds instead on the regular mode. So that's why you see like these little like really sharp jagged changes, and so that's where like the location was being taken, and you can see the location is a little bit off too. So high performance mode would improve this. You're able to see kind of the elevation change as well, all within the app. And like I showed in that video, that low power screen, that low power display while you're doing an activity will change color depending on kind of where your heart rate is within a certain range that you're trying to achieve. So as you progress, that color will change to kind of give you a really nice, easy to see visual for where your heart rate is as well. So yes, overall, smartwatch is great. It's fluid, scrolling through notifications, replying, deleting notifications, super responsive. I think that is nice, well in part due to the Snapdragon W5 plus Gen 1 chip that this runs. Super efficient, and tied in with the low power display. This sips on battery and just lasts for days, literal days. Some other gripes here. There's no Google Assistant built into this. So there's no way for me to long press a button and have Google Assistant activated to do any sort of quick reminders, timers, text, or anything like that, or make a phone call or whatever. So that's unfortunate. Apparently there is a way which you can sideload that and install a separate app and kind of do it I don't want to say a janky installation, but there's no built-in first-party support, unfortunately. So that's a miss. There's no way for you to change what this button does. It's always the recents, to go back to your most recent app. Okay, so I am just learning for the first time that as I'm playing with this, there's nothing in the settings for these buttons. And so if we go to gestures like we showed in the initial unboxing, there's nothing here that pertain to these buttons. So if you double press on this recent buttons, that opens up Google Pay. If you double press on the crown, that goes to your recents app. Activate Google Assistant based on those presses. So that's another miss, unfortunately. The audio quality is pretty good. It's adequate. I mean, you're getting what you're getting from the actual watch. Nothing to praise home about or anything, but it'll do the job fine. Taking phone calls and talking on the phone, and whatnot. There is also some other watch faces which I didn't cover in a little earlier. There are additional watch faces you can select from, at least thankfully, and this is the one that I kind of chose, which I pretty much like. Gives the battery down there, heart rate, and the temperature as well. But I do like this watch. I think I would like it better if it was actual just silver or black. This sandstone color is just not my thing, but nevertheless it does look good. It does kind of like a goldish appearance, especially around the trim areas. This app, the app itself could use some work, but it gives you just all your information right on this home screen, which you tap onto each one, dive into it a little bit more, gives you a little bit more information. So yeah, there's that. The essential mode is pretty much just like a black screen. I ran into a bug to where when I put this into essential mode, I'll show you here real quick. So in the essential mode, the ultra low power clock face still runs. It still shows there, as we can see here. But to get out of the essential mode, it says to press that button. Okay, I did that. I'm holding it down. I don't know how to get out of the essential mode. And just holding this side crown doesn't do anything either. So that's weird. I would have thought that at least holding a button would then prompt you like, hey, do you want to end essential mode? But those are just little things that I've noticed. I came across this one during these past couple of days. Also additional, in this little low power state, there's no way to customize what's showing here or what is not showing. So what you see is what you get. There's no way to customize. Just having a big clock, for example, or something like that. That's also another little miss. I would have liked to be able to see a little bit more customization on here, or if there is, Mobvoi needs to do a little bit better in terms of onboarding and kind of walking the customer through that experience. Only other thing is, like I mentioned in the initial unboxing, is that watch strap gets pretty warm, and I can feel kind of just like a moistness to my skin underneath where this watch strap is against. And and you can see the imprint of the watch a little bit on my skin there. I didn't notice this getting terribly hot or uncomfortable. Of course, being electronic, there will be inherent a slight temperature to it. It's not going to be as if you're not wearing like a. It's not going to be as if you're wearing just like a regular watch or just like bracelet. As you do an activity that requires GPS streaming from your phone, potentially streaming audio to Bluetooth earbuds, this is going to warm up just a hair, but it's not going to be uncomfortable to where it's like a Pixel or another phone to where it gets uncomfortably hot in your pocket or anything like that. This has stood up fairly well to my cats attacking it with their teeth and claws. No scratches whatsoever. Of course, being Gorilla Glass, it's durable and you're not going to have any issues there. So I hope I covered everything that I wanted to. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns regarding the Mobvoi TicWatch Pro 5 smartwatch, absolutely leave them down below and I can answer them, and I'll do my best to potentially do any sort of follow-ups as well. But I think overall for fitness purposes and overall just as a general Android Wear OS smartwatch, this TicWatch Pro 5 is a banger. It is great. I will certainly recommend this for folks that are looking for a smartwatch. And perhaps if you're interested, I may do a future video on how to install Google Assistant. I may try to doing it myself. I'll also sideload some Pixel watch faces onto here. I can maybe do a video if you're interested. If you want, leave a thumbs up and let me know. Thank you everyone for watching, and also for Mobvoi for sending the TicWatch Pro 5 over. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.